Hey, sweeties. I'm so happy to come and see you today. And if you remember, for those of you that are following, and I hope most of you are, this week I am actually in the Dominican Republic on a mission trip because I am a short-term missionary. And this week I get to work with about 500 kids. And I just get to show them such a great time every day and just entertain them, tell them how much Jesus loves them, and just hopefully show them how much they matter. I just really want every child that I can possibly tell to know how much they matter. And if you remember, I'm a 32-year retired teacher, so children have always been like a big part of my life. But today, I want to talk to you about missions and about how passionate I am about missions and how I have been a short-term missionary for 24 years. And a lot of my time has been spent in Romania. And I've served in several areas of Romania. I've served in Oradea, Pilata, Ardud, Satamari. But the last few years, the focus has been at a school in Oradea. But I want to tell you about a kids camp I did, like truly in the middle of a pasture with hay bales for the kids to get on their knees and do their work on the hay bales. And it was one of the most special weeks. But I was in the village of Kryesh and I was out in the middle of a pasture, and my theme for the week was the jungle of life. And every day I would dress up in like this jungle outfit, like I was in a trench coat, like I was trying to maneuver through the jungle of life. Well, on day one, I talked about how that even when you're young, when you're a child, there's still jungles that you go through every day. And I talked about, how on the playground somebody's like giving you a hard time. There's all kinds of little jungles, right? So then I talked about how that if you just can have just a little bit of a perspective about how to look at things in a different light, it can change the way that jungle seems. So on day 2 of the skit, it started to just pour down rain. Not really, just in the skit. And I popped up this umbrella, and on the umbrella it said God's love. And I was like, when we're in the jungle of the playground or the jungle of life, and we feel that rain coming down and it seems like it's starting to get kind of heavy, we can put up our umbrella and be protected by God's love. We can see that it's still raining. The storm didn't go away, but we're not getting wet because we're protected from it, because we have Jesus in our heart and he never leaves us. So once you're protected by God's love, you can weather the storm. And then I talked about the snake in the grass in the jungle, because sweeties, there's always that little snake in the grass. Just know that sometimes when everything's going really well, you don't need to keep a guard up, to be ready for when something's going to go terrible. No. But just be thankful for that time and always be aware of real life out there, and that if it rears its ugly head, you're going to put up your umbrella. I literally live this way, sweeties. Literally. It seems like that we have had so many storms in our life, but we are so genuinely happy because I really do put up that umbrella and I give those problems away. I really do. I give them away, physically, mentally, spiritually, and I let that be God's problem. I'm his child. I can come to him with anything. He created me, so he knows how crazy I am. And he made me the way I am for a reason. And I want you to know, sweeties, he didn't make any mistakes, ever. So anything that you feel insecure about, or anything that you feel like, oh, I wish I did that better, or I wish I was more like that. Don't do that. Don't play the comparison game. If I did that, oh my goodness. Know how special you are to God. Know how special you are to probably so many people. But even if you feel like there's no one, I'm telling you, sweetie, there is. And it's Jesus. And he loves you, honey. And he will never, ever leave you, no matter how hard things get. I don't know if you can see all the scars on my face, but I have a tremendous amount of scars on my face. I have some that are here. I have some, my nose was reattached. I have big scars up here and dents. I'm probably the only person in the whole world that's ever had a almost lethal accident with a cow. But I was just driving along after in-service. I was going down a country road in Tennessee, and I just barely touched the shoulder while setting my coffee down. And on this road, unfortunately, there was no shoulder. And there was a very, very, very large tree with a pasture fence kind of running up against it. So I hit the tree at maybe 40 some odd miles an hour. But unfortunately, there was a cow that had gotten half in and half out of the pasture. And when I hit the tree, I accidentally clipped the cow, and it came into the windshield. And the windshield, of course, shattered because the cow came in, and it embedded into my face at 30 miles an hour with an airbag. And I was taken by helicopter, and I could hear them saying, "She's not breathing. She's not breathing." And I thought, oh, bless her heart, someone's not breathing. But then I pretty quickly knew it was me. It was like when you're a kid and you jump in the pool and you're going to play the who can hold your breath the longest game. And I always lost that too, by the way. But what I want you to hear me say is, in that instant, I knew who to turn to and what to do. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to try to make peace with God first. No. He's my best friend. And in that instant, I could tell I did not have very long before I would lose consciousness. So I started praying like a crazy woman. You know what it reminds me of? You know those car commercials where the guy goes, and we hope you'll come by the 4 days, you know. It was like that. In my head, I couldn't get any words to come out, but in my head, I was thinking, Lord, I love you so much, and you know it, but I want to stay with my family. Please, 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 please. Please let me stay, Father. Please let me stay. And right then, I could tell I was fixing to not be able to be awake. Even though I couldn't speak or open my eyes, I knew inside I was still awake. And I heard a man's voice say, "Stay with me. I've almost got you breathing." And I thought, oh, well, good. Well, hurry, sweetie. Hurry. Oh. And then I could feel a machine making myself breathe. And you're not going to believe this, but it's the truth. I actually got the mouth to mouth the words. I couldn't speak them, but I mouthed the words. I heard the fireman say, "Hey, she's cognitive. She just thanked me for getting her breathing." And don't get me wrong, boy, I was. But I was thanking Jesus for letting me stay. I knew right then that I would survive. And sweeties, ever since that day, I just want to count for him and for all of you. I just want to tell you, don't worry about stuff. Be happy. Let him be a part of your life. Love your family. Love yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't play the what if game. Don't play the blame game. Don't play the comparison game. Pray for me this week while I'm in the Dominican Republic working with a million gazillion kids, that I might be able to give them the greatest week they can have to the best of my ability. And I will see you next week. I love you all so much. I hope you're enjoying coming to visit with me as much as I'm enjoying visiting with you. Thank you.